I think we're here. So welcome. This is our lab number 1 in the Heart and Soul of Coaching and Healing course. And I'm really excited. This is the first time I've met those of you who are here today. And I think we're at the beginning of a really wonderful journey. It's interesting. We've taught this for many years, but as I was explaining to Marcia, we continue to grow and discover new things. And so for me, I think it's just as exciting as it is for everybody else. And I hope it's exciting for you too. So the lab is generally designed to offer an opportunity to ask questions about things maybe you learned in the class, have another demonstration of the technique that was taught in the class, and then to practice together. And we'll just see if anybody else joins us. With the number of people we have right now, the practice seems like it would just be one group. so we'll stay together, which is always fun too. I like when we have just a few people and we get to all stay together. So we'll see how that works. Anyhow, we're doing it a little different today because we start in the first lab of each course with introductions. And so this will be an opportunity for each of you to just take a couple minutes to share who you are, where you're from, and why you're here. And I think that it'll be nice also for people who will be watching the video, even though you won't get to see have their introductions, then they can get to know you a little bit too. Because for us, and I think for what students and graduates frequently tell us, is that one of the things that they really, really appreciate about the program is each other. Because it's so uncommon to have people who are like-minded and people who you can actually practice with. So there are many people who have developed and are still developing lifelong relationships through people they meet here. And that always really makes me happy. And Anusha, you are related to, who is it you're related to?
Alina.
Alina, right, Alina. So you're her sister?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. So she actually is, you probably have some familiarity with what we're doing already.
Yeah, she told me a few things.
Yeah. Okay, and here's Deborah. Hi, Deborah. We're just going to do the introduction, so this will be a nice opportunity for you to join in too. And what we're going to do is for each of you just to spend a couple minutes to tell us who you are, where you're from, and why you're here. The simple questions. So would anybody like to start? Okay, Ina, hi.
Hi guys, my name's Ina. I live in Michigan.
Oh, where in Michigan?
In Howell. So we're very near like Ann Arbor, about 30 minutes away from Ann Arbor.
Oh, yeah. My family's Dutch, came from Holland, Michigan. So
okay, so we're on the other side of the state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're more on the east side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, so I feel like my whole life has essentially been preparing me for the journey that I'm on currently. And I had a very difficult life, to say the least, in my past, and have overcame many, many things. And my best friend tells me all the time she thinks I've lived 50 lifetimes. And I said, well, it's just, you have to live that much life if you want to help that many people. Because if you've never been in their spot, then how do you know how to help them? So I really have gained a lot of wisdom over the years, and I've been on a spiritual journey now for about 7 years, and kind of got to a point where I feel like I'm ready to start learning some skills so that I can use that and pass it on and start helping others. I feel like I'm not at the end of my journey by any means. I don't think it ever ends.
Right.
But,
I think if people think
like
they've arrived, that they may not be completely honest with themselves.
Right. So I feel like I've gotten to a place of peace within myself and understanding of my life and how things work and why we go through the things we go through and the purpose of things and the bigger picture of it all, I guess you'd say. And I'm just ready to start helping others to find that, because there's peace for everyone. If I can find peace after everything I've been through, I know that everybody else can find it too. We just got to work together.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
that's a little bit about me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Who would like to be next? And I see Tracy's here. Hi, Tracy, if you're here. There you are. We're just doing introductions for starting out. So whenever you're ready, you can introduce yourself. So whoever wants to go next, anybody? Volunteer? Marcia.
I'm Marcia Lewis. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I have been in the quote unquote healing business.
Healing business.
I was a registered nurse for nearly 50 years.
Wow.
And found back in 1999, 2000, through a major trauma, losing my dad, I had to find something else. That Western medicine wasn't doing it for me anymore, even though I had to work in that to make a living. So I started into New Thought, became a Reiki master, just took a lot of courses online, health theology. And when my second husband died, I lost my registered nurse license. I lost my license. I just let it lapse, and too late to renew it unless I wanted to go through the FBI. And I said, no, I don't think so. So, I actually found Jane and Phillips School that I could become an ordained minister of holistic healing. And that just spoke to me because I'm at Unity Church. So all of that's working together. And then this certification came up at the perfect time. We're going into a healing arts ministry. So I'm excited to be here to meet all of you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited too. It is the beginning of such a wonderful journey. And I know Deborah has been part of, well, that was some years ago that you were part of the program, but it is really fun. And I think it's very family-like. So who would like to share next? Tracy, hi. It's good to see you too. Tracy was with us. I don't know what year that was. It was a while back. I can't hear anything. You're not muted now, but I don't hear anything.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. Sorry, I'll be home shortly. I'm almost there. But
okay.
my name, so just in case I'm not looking directly at you guys, I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, look at the road.
Hi guys, I'm Tracy Voss, and it's interesting because I've also had some, even James, I don't know if you know this, but even since I've been a part of the Awakening Institute program before, since my daughter is a brain cancer survivor, and I lost my son to gun violence 2 years ago.
Oh
so
my.
the trauma is very heavy, but I also have very strong belief in God. So my faith, I want to be able to give to others what I've been able to embody, if that makes sense. So I'm a integrative health coach, a dance instructor, and Jane, you don't know this, but I'm going back to finalize my my degree in mental health counseling and dance movement therapy.
Oh wow.
And
busy.
Yes. I really want to open up an integrative health center for women and their families. So that is my goal. And of course, I'm also going to do the ordination because I'm so strong in the dance, healing arts ministry at my church. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. Well, you've been through a lot. I'm so sorry to hear about your son.
Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And what else I was going to say, guys? Oh, I'm a newly empty nester. Soon to be. My youngest just graduated from high school, so she's going to college. So it'll just be me. So just want to share a little bit of that. So I'm
Yeah.
going through the
All right.
transitions right now, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I see Pauline's here. Hi,
Hi.
Pauline.
Hi.
We're just
Okay.
having introductions, so
All right.
get to know each other a little bit.
Mm.
So who would like to introduce yourself next? Anuja.
Okay, my name is Anuja. I live in India, actually in Kerala, from India. And what do I say? Actually, I started this journey because 3 years back when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So it was very tough time for me. So when I went to Marcia said about Western medicine, it couldn't help me then. Actually, I tried many different doctors, but it didn't. So I started looking for alternate ways, and that's how I was led to leading this healing journey. Now I'm at a point I work as a software engineer, but right now I find it like a little. It's not a fulfilling job for me. I would like to do something more, but I
Right.
don't know what is it. So
Well, you'll
I
have
got-
plenty of time to reflect on it.
Yeah.
Try things.
So that is what I'm looking for here. When
Oh,
you
good.
say that, yeah, that's it. That's what.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, and
Mm.
welcome from India. That's something I love about the program also. Pauline is in Japan, so we
That's right.
tend to have people in many different places. Yeah, wonderful.
Mm.
Okay, who would like to be next?
I'll go.
Okay, Deborah.
Oh, my audio is on. So I can't remember. It's been a long time, but
It has been a long time.
Jane. I met Jane, and well, I first met Phil. I don't know how. Somehow I met Phil, and it was out in the community. He was doing some speaking or something, I think. And so this was like in 2005. And I
Wow,
had two
that's a
little
long time
itty
ago.
bitty kids. And at that time, I learned, I think that there was a basic EFT course. And did you have an EFT for kids class? Or you
No,
had a book?
no,
No?
no.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, Philip did have a book for kids, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore, but we
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
So at the
he
time,
did.
at the time.
Yeah.
And then I took the healing course along the way, but I've always been like a seeker of all the things. I moved to Singapore. I became a Reiki master in Singapore and became a meditation certified meditation teacher, and I also became a certified art teacher. So anyway, intuition, spirituality has been kind of like a theme along with my professional life. So so I'm just called back to Phil and Jane at this moment in time in a very strong way. And so I guess I think the first time around, I was just orienting to all of the tools and wisdom and even a lot of healing that just had to happen in the course of the courses.
Right.
And then this time, it seems like I'm actually kind of learning the techniques better. And also, I'm able to see both your and Phil, like how you're facilitating the conversation, which I couldn't see the first time through the courses. Like that was not what I was seeing. So it's just interesting to see what I'm noticing now
Well,
compared
yeah,
to
20 years later, you're you're a much more mature person too.
Yeah. And then also there's I trust my intuition more.
Right. Yeah.
And also I'm very empathic about people's feelings. So at that time, I didn't know I was empathic. I didn't know to trust my intuition. Like now, literally, even in a business context, when I'm speaking to people and I know it's the truth, like I feel this spiritual zing, right?
Right.
That is just like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's just this whole energy thing that happens when I'm speaking the truth. And
Right.
it just feels like, I don't know, so like,
Magic.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
it is.
magic.
Yeah, it's like this whole like,
It is
and you're
magic.
on the
Yeah.
right path, right? Um, and so, and I notice it more now than I used to
Right.
also.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's just being more in tune and allowing for it to happen now that I'm older, whereas I would um,
Probably.
edit it out
Right.
more
Yeah.
because I'd be like, okay, that's just like nonsense. Like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? So, but now now I also have almost some communication skills too to work with people, right? Instead of saying, hey, I've got this chattery thing in my brain telling me I should ask you this, right?
Hmm.
It's like, you know, I'll just ask people questions about, you know, is this true for you? Or does it seem like, or, you know, I have
Hmm.
different ways to lead into a conversation that's using my intuition that isn't freaky. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
and
there's those
I think
skills.
that's something we really believe in too, is that even though things are very spiritual and very sacred, there are ways to describe them that people can understand. And I think it's so important to be really speaking to them in a way as much as you can, to when you're whoever you're talking to speak in a way that you're orienting it towards them. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just enjoying these classes,
Oh,
and
good.
it is at the end
Yeah.
of a very business day, so I'm kind
Yeah.
of defocused by now.
Right. Good. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. So we have a couple people left, I think. Pauline? Yeah, Pauline, you might be the last one. I can't hear you. It doesn't look like you're muted, but I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you come.
Okay,
There you go.
right, I'm a bit closer to the screen.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, as Jane
Yeah,
said,
if you have a microphone, you might want to put it just closer to your,
okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Or maybe I take it off and then I don't
Well,
necessarily
it's good.
need it
You
now.
sound good right now. So
Oh, okay, right. So I've been living in Japan a very long time, much longer than I lived in England, and I'm redoing Jane and Philip's course. It's reviewing it. It's such a marvelous training, all the three of them. The magic of more. Well, it's really helped me to sort of understand that more and more with all that I've learned, on this course and on the other two courses too. It's opened my world to know myself with a freedom in so many ways that I wasn't ready for.
right.
And
Yeah.
so it'll be a wonderful journey for all of you who are doing it for the first time, and you'll receive many, many gifts from it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so one other thing, kind of getting started, maybe I guess it was just fairly recently, we started using Oracle cards just a tiny bit in this coaching program. And this is the deck that we've been using, the Gateway Oracle cards. And the only way we've been using it is just to draw a card, like maybe you have a session with someone and you want to end with a little message or start with a message. Often with the classes and the labs, I'm sitting before before anybody arrives, and so I'll draw a card. And I just drew one today that I thought was really appropriate. And they are very synchronous if you use Oracle cards. This one that I thought spoke to all of us. It says dwelling in truth. And this is something I like about these cards is you actually just with the heading, and I don't know if you can even, it looks like it's a little hazy. You can't maybe see this, but there's a little sentence on the bottom. That might be all you need to have a message for someone that you're working with. So it says, I stand in the light of truth, which I think is so important for us. And it is really connecting with that love that you hold in your heart, which is, it is your source of truth and intuition, and just knowing, like Deborah was saying, just knowing when what you're saying is right, or feels right to you. You know it in your heart. So I am going to read the message too, just because I liked it. The soul loves the truth. Be honest with yourself and listen to your inner guidance. Follow it by speaking your truth. To thine own self be true. You radiate the energy of truth to others so they can find their truth. And this is another real, I think, foundational part of our teaching, is that we're not here to tell anybody what their truth is. We're here to help people to open to what it is for you. Because there's a big difference also between someone telling you what's true and actually knowing it. And it is, I think it's in this time, I firmly believe also that part of this change we're going through and coming into this new age is about honoring everybody's ability to be themselves completely. And the idea then of programming people, and some people, they'll say, well, what's true for me is true for everybody, kind of like, I know how it works and I'm going to tell you. And it actually is a disservice. So it also says, the universe wants you to know there is a place inside you that always knows the truth. And I would say, Marcia has her hands on her heart, you can feel it in your heart. Take time to be still, to discover the genuine place of knowing within. Often the hardest thing about living your truth is discovering what it is. So it's important to slow down, be quiet, and listen to the whispers of your soul. If there's an idea in your life in which you're not being authentic, or if there's an area in your life in which you're not being authentic, or where you're not living in integrity, this is the time to make some changes. So I just thought that was beautiful for what we're talking about today. And it is with the heart focus that Philip did with you on Tuesday. It really is about clearing whatever might be in your heart that needs to be cleared so that it can speak clearly. You know, there are different things that can happen to the heart. And I think one that's very common is we create a shell around it to protect ourselves. And when we do that, then we also protect ourselves from our own truth. Unfortunately, you know, we can't get in through that shell either. And the heart focus process actually helps you to find out what is uniquely happening in your heart, which is why it's so important and why we're starting this course with this process. Next time, next Tuesday, I'll be with you next Tuesday, and we'll actually go into the guided visualization process that we do for connecting with the heart. So this isn't the end of it. We're just really leading into the place where we want to go. But for me, that when I learned how to connect with the truth in my own heart, it changed my life so dramatically. I'll never forget it. Because at that time, I was an architect. This was years ago, many years ago. And I became unhappy. I enjoyed it for a period of time, and then it just got it's like all of the energy for it waned, and I just didn't know what to do. But I was looking for my own intuition so that I could understand what the next step was, because I knew I needed something more than what other people could tell me. And Philip and I we were searching together, and this was I call us mature. This was in the 1980s, so that kind of dates us a little bit. It took us, I think, 4 or 5 years to find the process that we use now. And of course, it's not so hard now, and things happen much more quickly. I think the energy altogether is much better. But when I learned the process for connecting with the truth in my heart, I went from not wanting to get up in the morning because I just couldn't figure out why I would want to being so excited about getting up and connecting with the truth in my heart that I just felt completely alive and excited. And I still feel that way. I still feel that way after all these years because we've been following our hearts. And this is what we want for everybody. So I would say is the basis really for this program, and I think those who have had it before know this. This is not a new part of what we teach. It really is about connecting with your heart and living from the heart. And then, of course, healing spiritually, and we'll be going into that in so many ways, but just as a summary, the most powerful energy for healing is love. Divine love is connectedness. So when you can access that energy of connectedness, it can clear anything. And so we heal with that spiritual, with that light and love. And so that's where we're going with the heart and soul of coaching and healing is deeply into the heart, and then teaching methods that are highly effective and actually work. So that's why I'm so excited about having this opportunity again to share what we have learned and what has changed so many lives by now. It just is, it's always fulfilling. And for me, it obviously is my purpose. It's my mission in life to do this. So any questions or comments on any of that?
To start that process, you know.
What's that?
How did you start that process of
Connecting with the heart?
Heart, yeah. How did you, yeah. How did
Well,
it start
it was
for you?
interesting. Like I said, it was the 1980s, and we would go to a lot of different classes and things, and people would say, well, you do this, you know, and then you look here and you sit in a certain way, and then your truth will come to you. And, you know, just these very vague things like I never understood. And I think what happens when you connect with your heart, you know it. You know if you're in a place that if you're vibrating love or not. You know, am I feeling love right now? And that's where I want to be. That's my centered place. So finally, we came across a couple. It was two people who were healers. And that's where we learned a lot of, not all of, but many of, we built the foundation for the process we called soul centering, connecting with the love in your heart for guidance and healing. And then also some of the deeper healing processes that we teach even now, we receive from them. Like we have one we call the holistic process, where you can connect with what's happening in body, emotions, mind, and spirit. And you can take it even further with 7 chakras, you know, 7 levels of healing, we call it, which is extremely effective and very fascinating. Just what the insights that come from it. So that's how it started for us, and it's been a great journey. So yeah. So with that, what was I going to share next? Oh, I want just for fun, I wanted to do, I have this, we have often we'll do these little experiential things that are, I think, very telling just in themselves. And we have this one we call the light words and heavy words experiment. And so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to share some heavy words. And as I do, just take them in, and I'm going to ask you to notice how what happens when you listen to those words. And without resisting them, we're going to go to the light words next, so don't worry about it. What we want to do is notice how it affects us. Like, what happens to your posture? How do you feel? How does your energy feel, etc.? So here we go. Just short.
Okay.
Tough life, stress, anxiety, lack, failure, fear, loneliness, struggle, impossible, and no. So I'll say it again. Tough life, stress, anxiety, lack, fear, failure, loneliness, struggle, impossible, no. And what I'd like you to notice is what that does, like where your posture tends to go and how much energy you feel. One of our most powerful, I think, powerful ways of measuring where a person is through aliveness. Like, how alive do you feel compared with how you felt before when we were introducing ourselves and enjoying each other's company, focusing on fear and anxiety. Just notice that. And then we'll turn it around with some encouraging, lighter words. Miraculous opportunities, love, happiness, playfulness, gratitude, connectedness, lightheartedness, and yes. Miraculous opportunities, love, happiness, playfulness, gratitude, connectedness, lightheartedness, and yes. And then notice now what your posture is wanting to do and how much aliveness you feel. Like it's that idea of chi or life energy. And notice this compared with when we were talking fear and anxiety. So I'm curious if anyone wants to share what you noticed. Yes, Marcia. Hi.
The heavy words, I felt myself shrinking. My energy was just shrinking
Right.
in and going down. And then when we went to the light words, it was like I became a balloon with helium in it.
Right.
And I was just going up slowly, but
right.
gently,
Yeah.
gently.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And that it is life energy. And when we're in those places, like if someone is in a place of stress, like most of the time, that's where they are. They're in this deflated, and it actually, as you might imagine, it's bad for your health. If you actually read statistics about stress, it is very detrimental. It's associated with just about any chronic disease you can imagine. And in some cases, it's fatal. So that's what people experience. And stress is so common in our society, people think it's normal. Which is why we have to, with our intention, focus on keeping our spirits up and finding ways through healing and all of these things we're talking about come together to create the best life you could live. A life where, and who wouldn't want, I think people generally want to be happy, right? You want to be happy. You want to feel like you're living fully. You want to feel like you're making a difference, like you're able to do the things that are meaningful to you. But many people just don't believe that that's even possible. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's so clear. And it's also for ourselves. And I know there are times that are stressful. I have times that are stressful. But it's helpful for us to realize that as much as we can, and as soon as we can pull ourselves out of it, that's the best thing we can do for ourselves. And just find a different way to perceive whatever it is that is happening. So
It's
anyone else want to share?
Yeah, it's like the difference between open and closed.
Right.
And I saw a box in the first group, a box that was closed. you know,
Right.
inside that box were all those words that you said, shut, contracted. And then the
Right.
other ones were just, was open, the box open, the lid opened, and stuff's pouring out, you know, and it's in the light. So
Right.
different, you know,
Yeah.
open and closed.
And it's just words.
Yeah.
So it also shows the power of our thinking,
Yeah.
you know, how we perceive things that are happening to us and around us, and where we focus our attention too. So I think that helps also when you look at the heart focus. The purpose of doing the heart focus is to identify anything that might be blocking your ability really to the heart, for the heart to just open and to feel, you know, feel that joy and that excitement and all of those things that come from the heart, an open heart. So any questions or anything you'd want to mention before I do the demonstration? I'm thinking, because this is a little different than usual and it's a little shorter. um, I was thinking of doing this as a group. Although well, I'll ask you. I could do it as a group, and it's going to be, we have this script which you should have on your resource page. And I don't usually use scripts, but it's a good place to start to learn a process, and then you find your own words and ways of doing it. It doesn't have to be identical to this. It's a place to start. So I could go through it, and I'm going to go through and ask the questions about what you're experiencing in the heart. The other thing I could do, if you would prefer, is I could do a demonstration with one of you, and the other ones, I would like you to notice what you notice for yourself at the same time. And I don't know if that's too much, or would you prefer a group or a demo where then you are also noting for yourself? Because then I'm going to allow you to go into the groups and share. And I have a kind of a simple way also that you can be clearing and sharing at the same time, for if there's something going on. So which do you prefer, group or demo with one person and everybody else following along on their own?
I'd like to try group.
Is that okay? We could do group, and then few people could share what you notice, and then we'll go in. I'll let you go into your rooms. They're not real rooms, obviously, but into your smaller groups. Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So hopefully you have a pen and paper to write down what you're noticing in your heart when I get to the questions. And I'll start just with the guided visualization. I'm thinking I'm going to add a little something, just because it's something that I always do myself when I do a guided visualization, which is actually to clear out my energy. And I think it's worth knowing, because with the way things are, we pick up energy all the time from people and things around us, and it's really important to clear it out regularly. So I'm going to add that to this. It's just a short deviation. So you can start by closing your eyes and just breathing in love and light from the universe around you. And I always figure, I'm deviating already from the script, but I always figure we all deserve to have the most beautiful energy. We can breathe in the most beautiful energy that's available to us. So if you imagine there are angels around you, or just beautiful energy around you, can just be breathing that energy in, feeling lighter with each breath. And then as you exhale, just letting go letting go of anything that's not serving you now. So you're breathing in light and then exhaling anything that might feel heavy. And as you continue to breathe, then the next part is with your intention, which is powerful. Ask any energy that is not your own, that is in your space, in your body, or in that field of energy around you. Ask any energy that is not your own to go back where it came from. With love, we pick up energy from other people, places, other times. It's kind of like a table picks up dust and we have to dust it off. So we're kind of dusting ourselves off. And similarly, we leave bits of our own energy in other places with other people and in other times. So you can ask any energy that is ready of yours, that's ready to come back to you, to come back now. And just notice. What I notice generally is that I feel more present in my body. And I think that that's true because, well, partly because the breathing and just bringing yourself more into the body is helpful. It also is, you have more of your own energy just doing that simple process. So you can do that anytime. And then just allowing yourself to relax more with every breath. Allowing your body to begin to melt and gently just relaxed. And of course, we want to be very relaxed and also at the same time with our minds aware so that we can think and answer questions as they come up here. So take your time to fully enjoy each breath and notice how that is for you. Just breathing. Now take a few more loving breaths, nourishing and nurturing yourself more with every inhale and feeling the loving energy flowing throughout your body. And now if you have any thoughts running through your head, you can just take a moment to ask those thoughts to just relax for now. They can come back after you're done. I often imagine them drifting off in little bubbles. So just allowing your mind to clear, not resisting the thoughts, just allowing them to relax. Make note now, as I mention the heart, to visualize your heart like it's a Valentine. So imagine how that looks and feels, maybe if it has a message for you. And we'll go through a list of questions here in a moment. We all experience, you could say, imagery in our own way. So just notice what is the right way for you. You know, maybe you don't actually see the image, but you know what it is. That knowing is envisioning. It is a form of envisioning. And so you can remember, if you do not actually see a clear image in your mind, you probably still will in some way sense something about it. Or you can imagine what it would look like if you could see it, which is, it's kind of it's a nice little trick to know as a coach too. If you don't know what it is, what would it be if you did know? So then I'm going to start with some questions looking at that heart. What color is that heart? And as you notice or just know what it is, you might want to write it down. I'm going to write mine down too, I think. And how does it feel physically? How does that heart feel being in your body? Just notice anything, any sensations you feel. Then the third one is, how does it feel emotionally? And if you're not sure, you could even ask it, what are you feeling now? All the parts of ourselves have an intelligence, so it might be able to speak to you. What is its shape? So is it flat or puffy? Is it, you could say, perfectly shaped, or is there something irregular about it? Anything you might notice about the shape. And then how do the inner or the edges look? Are they perfect, or are there any things you notice about them that are odd? And then looking at your heart overall again, are there any cracks or holes in it, or any other noticeable features that would be unusual? And when it beats, how does it sound? Just what do you hear in your inner, your intuitive hearing? Does it seem regular? Does it seem weak or strong? Just what do you notice about how it beats? And then is there anything else that you need to be aware of, or that it would want to tell you if you feel like you're actually connecting with being able to speak with your heart? What might it want you to know? Looking at your heart in this way may bring awareness to something that's happening within you, and you may not know what it is right away, and that's okay. You may also have perceptions that you don't understand, that feel more important than others, or just notice what really stands out to you. And then what we're going to do with this next is we're going to come back together and we can share a little bit. And then I'm going to put you in groups, and I'm going to show you, actually, maybe I can do it with one of you speaking a little bit about what's happening. I'm going to show you how you can just use continuous tapping with EFT as you're talking to clear. So just by doing the tapping as you're talking and not really focusing on it, what it does is it moves energy. So it's a very, this is like one of the simplest techniques you could possibly learn if you know what the EFT points are. So coming back then, and if your eyes are still closed, you can just take a couple more breaths of active energy, feet firmly on the floor, or imagining them on the ground, bank, so that you can ground yourself. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So would anyone like to share what you noticed? Marcia, hi.
I will.
Okay.
I know we were talking about a Valentine card is what I assumed, but my heart was 3D. It wasn't flat.
Right. Yeah.
So it was red, the color was red, but it was like had dirt on it. It was bruised looking. It was
Mhm.
that bruised red color, maybe purplish red.
Mhm.
I also noticed that the for lack of a better word, the skin around the heart was really thick. And it had areas that it wasn't a perfect shaped heart. It had
Mhm.
bulging areas like
Mhm.
about to explode. If you looked at
Mhm.
my nursing, if you look at a cyst, it's about to explode. It had areas like that.
Mhm.
But it was beating very smoothly,
Mhm.
very slowly, not sickening slowly, but strong slowly. And the message I got was it said love. And I said love and let love in.
Mhm.
And
That's beautiful.
That's it.
So when it said let love in, what do you think it was saying?
It had been hurt. And so it had put up it built some thick skin because
Mhm.
I keep going. I keep, pushing forward. I keep going. So to
Mhm.
keep it from hurting, it developed some thick skin. I feel like I give plenty of love. And how that happens, I don't know if the skin is so thick. But anyway,
Right. Yeah.
when people say they love me, I don't know that I take it all in.
Mhm. Mhm.
Don't think I
So
accept it.
yeah. So would you like to start
Sure.
do you know EFT pretty well?
I have done it in the past.
Mhm.
It's not your way, but
Mhm.
yes, I have done
So all you need to do, and this will be a demonstration for everybody else, is just start tapping through the points and then continue to talk about what you've noticed. I can ask some questions too.
it. Sure.
So just the side of the eye, then below the eye. And I'll just go through them one time with everybody. Below the nose, right in the middle there. The chin, collarbone, and side of the body. And then just keep tapping and we can continue to talk.
Okay.
So when you said that it was red but it had dirt on it, it was kind of purplish. What does that suggest to you?
I equated it at that time with being hurt, like it
Mhm.
bruised that people had
Mhm.
thrown me under the bus, so to speak, or
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
That's all I'm coming up with right now.
Mhm. So how does that feel emotionally when being thrown under the bus?
It feels betrayed.
Mhm.
Makes me feel unworthy,
Mhm.
sad,
Mhm.
even to the point of depression.
Mhm.
But I guess mostly sad,
Mhm. Yeah.
basically.
Mhm. So do you feel like you could release that sadness?
That would be nice. Yes.
Mhm. So can you, if you just take some nice breaths, and what we can do collectively also is just imagine that we're in this surrounded by divine energy. We call it pure potential.
Mhm.
Just opening to allowing that energy to enter in
Mhm.
and noticing what else might be possible other than sadness. If you are connected to the divine and if all things are possible, what might be possible for you to have other than that sadness?
Peace.
Mm-hmm. So if you breathe in that peace now, if you breathe that peace into the heart, just notice if it has any impact on the color that you were noticing before.
Mm. I think it's I'm seeing a brighter red come through.
Mm-hmm. And what does that mean?
Healthier,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wholeness, willingness to receive,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-hmm. And how does that feel in your body?
Freeing.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Yeah. It's more open,
Mm-hmm.
expanded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the hurt now, what do you notice?
It just happened. Stuff happens.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a memory.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And how is your heart looking?
There's a smiley face on it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So that's an example too, like just tapping through whatever it is that you're experiencing and opening to that idea that you can be surrounded. We are actually surrounded by divine light. We just don't know it. So we call it the field of pure potentials. You know, some people call it the quantum field. So just imagine as you're tapping and looking at something, whatever it is that you're wanting to heal, asking yourself what else could it be? Because the idea with that kind of healing is we consider a certain thing to be our reality. Like Marcia was saying, that having that hurt was her reality. Well, if we go into that place of complete openness, pure potential, divine light that is pure and untampered by anything, it's a place of possibility. It's like that idea of morphic fields. I don't know if you're all familiar with that. So we think something is solid or that it's concrete, that it is the way things are. Like I'm a hurt person, that's the way I am. And it is interesting because a lot of times we do, and I even notice it myself sometimes after all these years. Well, this is just the way I am, as if it can't change. But if you take that into that place of pure energy, it is a place of pure potential. Like anything could happen to it. So you're, and you're tapping, just kind of not paying really attention to that, but just opening to what else might it be? What else could it be other than that thing that I think it is real for me now? And of course, we'll be going into all of this a lot deeper, but if you're looking at these different things in your heart, that's something you can do and just ask, what else? What does it want to be? What could it be? You mentioned there were bulges. Are the bulges still there?
They don't look like they're going to pop anymore.
Well, that's good. They're improving. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could look at that some more still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I was wanting to do now is have you go into. We can put you in. You could have two options. You could have two groups of three, or three groups of two. I mean, if you have three, then you have more people kind of who might have insights on something. Although remember, we're not telling anybody the way things are. We're helping them to open to how things might change for themselves. So who would vote for two groups of three, just out of curiosity? Two groups of three? Three groups of two?
Right, okay.
Which one? Okay, we'll try it again. Three groups of two. Okay, we'll go two groups of three. Okay, that's what we're going with. Yeah, and then you'll get to know more people. So we can have about 20 minutes. You can just be talking, talking through something you notice in the heart, and then just doing the tapping. It's called just continuous tapping for healing. And it is very effective, just talking through what's happening and how it might change, and then allowing that change to become your reality. So any questions about that? Is everybody ready then, I assume? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you into two breakout rooms, and I'll be going back and forth. So if you have any questions for me, you can ask. So Deborah, when you were here before, that was way before breakout rooms. Right. Yeah.
Oh, actually, there was no video. We were on the phone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you used to send out all of the materials in boxes. So
right.
I imagine, gosh, the logistics are a lot less for you.
It's
these
different.
days.
It's different. It's different. Okay, so I'm going to do the breakout rooms. So we have two breakout rooms. Let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, so the first room is Deborah, Ina, and Pauline. And the second one is Anuja, Marcia, and Tracy. So I'm going to put you in your rooms now, and then, like I said, I'll be coming by. Here you go. Oh, Tracy got through. Okay.